Hey, what's up, everybody?
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
All right, all right. So glad that you guys have came back to be uh, with us on another Saturday morning with another conversation from the wall. I'm your host, Josh,
And I am Sharon.
and we're coming to you again, like I said, with another conversation from the wall. How you doing today, Sharon?
Hey, I'm blessed and highly favored.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are so excited about all the great things that God is doing in this day and time. But we're here to talk about cold love.
Ooh,
We're not gonna um, um,
along the time.
right prolong the time. We're just gonna get right to it. Talking about cold love.
Quick
Last week,
question.
hmm
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a long day on the work job. I've seen a lot of things today. Also, and I hope everybody can hear us real well. Um, I've seen a lot of things today, Sharon, that really reflects on this topic that we're talking about today, dealing with cold love. Because I know people look at the topic and like, cold love, what is that? But it really means something because this is where the world is today. You know what I mean?
It is.
It is where the world is today.
Yes, there is so much going on
Yeah,
around us.
it is a lot going on around us. But listen, last week I just want to touch, if I can, on last week um, we talked about distractions,
Hmm.
how the enemy tries to pull us off the wall with distractions, one distraction at a time. But I want to throw a brick back at you because the enemy try to pull you one distraction at a time. But here's your brick. Your brick is this right here. Uh, we only building this wall one brick at a time,
That's right.
right? We lay that brick. If you ever seen anybody build a wall,
They do
contractors and
like
stuff,
one by one.
they do one by one. You see them, you take them. Then they call them masons or whatever it is. Um, if I'm not mistaken, and they take the scaffold and they get the cement mud on it, and they hit the bad bottom of that brick
That's
and they
right.
place that brick, right? So I can imagine even when Nehemiah them was on the wall and they was building the wall, they was doing it one brick at a time. And if we take that as a metaphor in life, and we don't try to build Rome in one day, right?
It's one day at a time.
One day at a time, one problem at a time,
That's right.
one situation at a time. And that goes right into this segment that we're talking about tonight, cold love. Because I think sharing with all the things that are happening in the world
Hmm.
that people have gotten very busy. We long time that came from when the time when um one person, the man maybe been working in the household and the wife was home, you know, taking care of the house situations and the kids and stuff like that. So now, you know, it, money is demand now,
Yes.
everybody.
Yes, because even with that, to just piggyback from that,
Mhm.
people are in survival mode.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right. Yeah, people are in survival mode because the reason why they're in survival mode because everything is so much demanding now,
demanding right now.
and things cost more. People are being more frustrated. I'm reminded, Jesus said that the love of many shall wax cold, and it seems like now we live in a day and time where people are frustrated all the time.
That's right.
Like you can't even have a decent conversation with people sometimes these days without it becoming hostile, right? And people get hostile and people get agitated real easily.
Yeah.
I was saying,
Or like
go
quicker
ahead.
to quicker to be angry
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, very, very quick to be angry.
and also impatient.
Yeah, and if you don't be careful, you better watch out for people. And it's not about being scared; it's just about being wise. Because I mean, people would just do anything these days to you. You know, people kill you over anything. You look at them wrong, folk want to pull a gun out and kill you. I came from the day. I know this is kind of off topic, but I came from a day where we put knuckle sandwiches at everybody.
Right.
But nowadays, time that they don't do that no more.
Now
It's just
it's
people pull out guns
we're
and
in a
shoot.
different era right
Man, it's a
now.
different climate, right? But so people are frustrated. But here's the thing: we're frustrated. We're more easier to snap
Hmm.
at people. Um, we're more easier to get annoyed with people. Please don't cut nobody off in traffic. Oh my goodness, we could do a whole podcast show about traffic. Don't cut nobody off in traffic. Oh man, in these days and time, you might not even make it home. You know what I mean? It just
I let them have it.
right. But we live in that day and time now. But we that are believers and we that are on the wall, right? Because we on the wall, and because we're on the wall, we get a different perspective to look at these things, right?
Mhm.
And the advantage of being on the wall is to get a oversight over the things that's happening in the world.
That's true.
And
It reminds me,
mhm,
remember the bracelets several years ago? What would Jesus do?
yeah, absolutely. We sitting on the wall,
Hmm.
and when we're sitting on the wall, we're sitting up there, not just sitting and twiddling our thumbs, but we're working. Because when Nehemiah got on the wall, he said, "Yeah, I got a mind to work."
Hmm.
Right. So we're working on our portion of the wall, and we can't allow other people behaviors and other people rudeness or disrespect to cause us to come off our wall. Because if the truth be told, and I know some people are like this that's tuning in right now this morning, that uh, you'll meet energy for energy. In other words, you'll get some straightening. Somebody come at you sideways, you're gonna give them, what they giving. But that's a distraction to me,
It is.
right? Because we're bigger than that, right? We're bigger than that, and we shouldn't be so easily distracted uh, about by other people's actions and other people's ways. But people are frustrated, Sharon.
They are.
You know,
Especially when people are under the pressure, of bills, work, family responsibility, even health concerns.
yeah,
Disappointments
yeah,
will bring that pressure.
hmm
And sometimes they're not just trying to be unkind or unrudely,
right,
but it's just life.
right, right. So why do people seem so impatient? Why is people so impatient today? And you just kind of named off some of it. I guess my question coming kind of late, from because you already kind of gave the answer because people are just uh, family,
Mhm.
you know,
Health
everybody's
concerns
working in the house. It almost take 2, 3 incomes just to survive. Whether you paying a mortgage, um,
or just being
are
rent.
you paying rent? I
Mhm.
mean, it's cost. I mean, mortgage nowadays for uh, um, a 3-bedroom house, in what we used to call a middle class neighborhood. Uh, you know, them houses probably running easily about 4 and a quarter. Mid fours. That's about $2,700. And if you on a FHA loan, that's the 5% thing. If you on that kind of loan, then you're going to be paying every bit of $3,000 a month just for mortgage.
Yeah.
That's kind of like unheard of. You know, where does this money come from? Where all this come from? Not only you paying high mortgage, you paying mortgage insurance, and you paying, for
Renters insurance.
right all this insurance, and then you got your family dynamic. You got your kids. You got food. You got gas. And it's just like people just on a rat race, right? On the hamster wheel. I always like to use that analogy of the hamster wheel. And the hamster on the wheel, the hamster just keep going and going, but it seems like it never get nowhere. But I promise you, I don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. We're just real people, dealing
Dealing
with
with
real issues,
mhm.
right?
That's
And
right.
so we're not sitting here trying to act like we have all the answers, but we just want to talk about things that people are going through because we go through it too, right?
Yeah,
I
everyday
mean,
life.
we just average people. We work jobs like anybody else, or whatever the case may be. But you know, God wants us to recognize these things,
Mhm.
right? So I want to recognize these things and call it for what it is.
Oh, that's
You
right.
understand what I'm saying? I
Absolutely.
want to call everything for what it is. I don't want to sit here and just keep going with the ways of life and then turn the blind eye to that. The world is getting colder,
It is.
right?
So
People are getting colder.
mhm.
Mhm.
So do you think, disappointment can harden a person's heart?
Absolutely. I think disappointment can harden a person's heart because, and it's a good question because it depends on uh, the type of disappointment it is and how hard their heart get. Some people could be experiencing disappointment over and over again. I'm
'Cause they
I'm
asked the question, "Why me?
yeah.
Why do I have to go through this?"
Well, I'm be the first one to say that when I deal with disappointment, my disappointment is when I feel like I'm finally getting ahead with my savings, and something always comes up to set me back. You know, something always happens that I end up being set back, and it just seems like it happens over and over and over again. That becomes disappointment to me, right?
Yeah,
And
it does.
then not only becomes disappointment to me, it becomes a distraction. Why? Because I'm distracted from the purpose that God has me working on this wall, right? Building my wall one brick at a time. Now I'm worried about the problem that I have before me when that problem is more minute compared to where God is trying to take me. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The children of Israel, we were talking about it the other night. The children of Israel, God freed them from 40 years of Egyptian captivity,
Mhm.
right? Bondage. And Moses was taking them, guiding them to the promised land that flows with milk and honey. And then, but when they got coming out of the wilderness, they got to a place in life where it seemed like everything was like crashing down around them and they didn't see the way out.
And then they
They
began to
only seen the
complain.
they only seen the situation that was at hand,
Mhm.
right? So when they seen that situation that was at hand, they been like you said, they began to complain. Why you brought us out here for us to die? Why you brought us out here? Well, you should have left us where we were.
But sometimes when you are in your comfort zone or in a place that of familiarity, you tend to wanna stay there, you know
Hmm.
what I mean? Because you're comfortable. I already been here, and I know the expectation on how to move and navigate here, so I don't wanna move ahead,
Yeah.
and it can hurt you.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Being in that comfort zone when God got so much more for us. You know, the children of Israel, they was comfortable. Even though they was in bondage,
Mhm.
they had gotten comfortable with that lifestyle. And but God said, "No, I got something greater for you." And sometimes that's what happened with us. I
Yeah.
feel like we get comfortable in lifestyle, and then we get so comfortable in the lifestyle that the lifestyle make us frustrated. And when we become frustrated, we become more mean,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
You seen that. It might not be you personally, but you don't everybody that's on here this morning can contest to say that I have seen people become meaner and meaner, as life continue to throw problems their way. And what's happening is people are distracted from what God wants them to do.
Yeah.
Obstacles gonna always come.
Every time.
Snares gonna always be there.
That's right.
It's not that if they come or if they be there, but how are we gonna handle that?
Yeah. So when those cycles continue to be around us, how do you come out of those cycles, you
Right.
know?
Well, yeah, right. And the main thing here I feel like is that we have to uh not allow our hearts
Hard.
to harden. How do we keep our hearts like right here when the world gets hard? How do we keep our hearts soft, right? Because we don't want to be so hardened that we don't have no emotion for anything. We just so hardened that we just look mad all the time, right? We just looking angry. I wish I had a meme I could pop up here. We just looking angry all the time because why? Because the world beating us down. And if I can gain anything from this conversation, Sharon, I wanna keep myself in a position that no matter what go on in my life, no matter how high inflation gets, no matter how hard life gets, that life don't beat me down,
Yeah.
right? That I can keep my heart soft. I can have compassion. People don't have compassion for people no more. People celebrate other people's demise. People celebrate other people's defeat, other people's losses. People celebrate that stuff. That's because the world had that became so cold.
Yeah.
So, but those of us that are on the wall, we always want y'all to get on the wall with us, not watch us on the wall, but be on the wall with us. And those of us that's on the wall, we gain a greater perspective that we can stand on this wall that we're building and look down and see the things of the world and have a greater perspective of what we're going to dive into and
Yeah.
what
And
we're
we're
not
not
going to
gonna dive
dive
into.
into.
Yeah.
That to me, that is awesome.
Yes, it is.
I get to choose what I'm
Which
going to
direction?
participate in.
Mhm.
I get to choose what I'm not going to participate in. Why? Because I gain a greater perspective of things just because I'm standing on the wall of promise,
Amen.
right? I'm standing on my wall. I got my mind and my sights focused on
What's
the
ahead?
wall, right? And I'm not worried about what you building over here on your wall. I ain't worried about what you building over here while I'm minding my business. Because I got what does God have set before me.
In other words, you staying in your own lane.
I'm staying in my own lane. I'm building this wall right here. But the world has gotten cold. And the
Mhm.
Bible says that this day and time was going to come. You know, inflation rising, grocery prices high, everything is running amok. People aggravated by their children. Parents feel like the children is not being grateful for things or supporting them in things, and children feel like this about the parents, and this one feel like this about that one. People cut you off in traffic, give you the bird, all kind of things, man. I mean, it just mayhem. But through all that, we still have an obligation, people of God. We still have the obligation to stay focused on the task that's at hand. And that's to stay focused on our portion of the wall that we're building. So we have to remember, right?
Mhm.
Whenever life becomes testy,
Okay.
that's a good one to remember because life do becomes testy.
It does.
What is the test? The tests come all day long, especially in my line of work, driving trucks. Man, tests come all day long. Just people just insane driving. You know, people just got attitudes, just angry.
Yeah.
You know, but how do we deal with that? How do we keep ourselves um, from, you know, falling victim to the same thing that we see happening in the world, which is becoming, hard hearted towards everything. Hard hearted because we don't know how we're going to manage our bills. Hard hearted because our kids are not acting right. Hard hearted because we're not getting the promotions that we need. Hard hearted because relationships seem like is tanking. Hard hearted because our automobiles are crashing on us. Hard hearted because we done got diagnosed with some type of illness. Hard, I could go on and on with the hard heartedness, right?
Mhm.
All right. But in the mix of all of that, right, we have to continue to keep ourselves in a peaceful way where we can keep our hearts soft, that we don't become so cold that nothing matters to us anymore.
That's
Just
right.
because we feel like we're going through so much.
Absolutely.
And I watch people do it all the time. People going through, and we all go through, everybody go through in different ways and different circumstances and different situations.
Uh-huh.
We all go through something, right? But it ain't the going through, is how you handle your going through,
That's right.
right?
I
You
think that one of the hardest things to do is stay calm when other people are not, or to stay patient when life is frustrating,
Yeah, that's the key right there.
and
Good point.
also to forgive even when you have been hurted.
Yep. Yeah. That's a big one, y'all. Forgiveness. Because sometimes our anger may not, oh, thank you, Holy Ghost. Here's a brick. I'm gonna give y'all a brick. Our anger may not come necessarily from the things that we'll face every day in life, such as bills, uh, job promotions, cars, or whatever, even though it has its
Its
own
place.
problems.
Mhm.
But sometimes our anger comes from a deeper situation than that. Those are just surface things. But sometimes there are things that we're holding from years ago in our hearts, right? That we have not dealt with yet. And that could trigger us to becoming more cold towards life and towards other people. But if we deal with those internal issues, I think that we will be able to handle with the external things even greater and more gracefully, right? I hope I help somebody with that. So sometimes we have to do some soul searching and look down within ourselves and ask God, God, why am I this way? Why is this happening to me? Why am I feeling like I'm going cold? Why do I feel like I don't care about what go on with anybody else if it doesn't suit me? If they ain't worrying about me, I ain't worrying about them. we can't have that kind of attitude. I don't believe so. As people of God, I think we should always make sure that we have a compassionate heart for other people. Jesus' heart was compassionate for his people. God's heart was compassionate for his people that he sent Jesus to die on the cross for our sins and raise up again on the third day. So we have to have a compassionate heart. We have to love our neighbors, right?
Absolutely, as ourselves.
Yeah. Love our brothers and love our sisters and just be loving people, you guys. So that's where I'm at, with this.
Absolutely.
Um, this is a cold world and it's getting colder, right? The love and the compassion is just seem like it's just flying away from us, flying out of sight. But we as believers, we have to make sure that we continue to stay rooted and grounded in the things that God have commanded us to walk in and stay focused on our portion of the wall. And remember, whenever life throws these things at you, you got to remember that you're standing on the top of the wall, and being on the top of the wall gives you a greater perspective of things. So you should be able to make better decisions when you're dealing with other people. Let's try, if we can, this next week. Here's a wall challenge. Let's try to say something nice to somebody that we don't know.
Or even encourage them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's be encouraging. Let's say something nice. Let's use some nice words. I promise you, if we practice this, right, more and more, it'll become more easier to do. And I think that exercise alone will help us soften our heart, that we'll become more compassionate people again and be concerned about our brothers and sisters. And that's what this podcast is all about for me and Sharon, is that we want to be concerned about other people, and get on here and have a conversation from the wall. All right? You good with that?
Hey, I'm good.
All right. So we're going to let y'all go. We thank you all. We want y'all to get to your Saturday, enjoy your day. And until then, another conversation coming at you from the wall. So yeah, y'all stay tuned. Don't forget to like,
Subscribe,
yeah, and share.
and hit that bell notification.
Absolutely. So we're grateful that you guys got on, but right now we got to get off, and until next time, you guys, another conversation coming at you from the wall.
Be blessed.
Be blessed.
Thank you for watching this episode of On the Wall podcast.